It's time.
All right. Well, now that we are back,
Are we?
this week, AT&T Byron Nelson, TPC Craig Ranch, McKinney, Texas.
Where?
McKinney,
TPC
Texas.
Craig.
Craig Ranch.
Somebody
Total
was telling me.
yardage,
I made that one. I put that
total
one on
yardage.
E6 golf.
just over 7,450. It's moved based off of different places that I looked at. 4 par 5s, 4 par 3s, pretty standard for your par 72 course. Hazards, the big thing that I've seen mentioned is Rowlett Creek, which is a creek that runs through there. Crick or creek, we'll see what our fans like there.
What is
Wait,
it
wait,
in
wait,
Texas?
real quick.
Is it Crick or Creek in Texas? I almost
Crick?
guarantee it's Crick.
No, what is it for you?
I literally will say both. It depends on whatever. I don't know. I remember someone's asked me this before.
So,
And
like,
I will say
what's
Creek
the-
sometimes. Sometimes I'll say Crick. Right there, I will say Creek
Right.
if I see it. But if I'm saying, hey, let's go over to the Crick, I will say Crick.
Right. So like as a proper noun, to me it's always creek. To your point.
Yeah.
Like if I see it on a sign
I'll say
or
creek.
It's a
if
name.
it's like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's a name to me, so like 4 Mile Creek is the big one
I'll
that
say
runs
Creek.
through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime that we're like, we're out in the woods
Crick.
or in somebody's backyard.
Let's go to the creek and
Let's go
fish
to
for
the creek in
chubs.
the
It's a
backyard,
Crick.
like-
It's a Crick.
Yeah, so creek is the proper noun, and the non-proper noun. I'm sorry, English teacher. I don't know what the verbiage I'm looking for is there. But yes, it is a crick if it is a thing. It is a creek if it is a proper noun. Just so
100%.
everyone out there knows, there's no arguments.
There's
by the
no.
way.
That's,
Don't
that's
argue
how
that.
you play it.
That's
is exactly what it is.
Amen.
I hit the ball in the crick
Yeah.
over 4 Mile Creek.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
I
What
used
crick
it in
did
a
you hit the
sentence.
ball in?
That's CREEK.
That is-
Crick.
That would be a fun sentence,
there
by
we
the
Bunt.
way.
Bunt.
I hit my ball in the creek.
B-U-N-T.
What creek was that? That was 4 Mile
I
Creek.
hit it over the creek. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Billy Madison. Rock. R-O-K? Yeah. R-O-C-K, Billy. All right,
All
so
right, where the hell are we?
back to it. Hazards. Rowlett Creek is in play on 14 of 18 of the holes, so it's in play quite a bit with water. Fairways, pretty wide landing areas. Bunkers in play on some of the tee shots if you get into one, and then avoid rolling into the creek on the sides and sometimes right in front of you directly. Greens looks like 11.5 on the stimp meter. Bent grass greens, 6778 is the average square footage of the greens, which I think is right around average, maybe a little bit above average.
Yep.
From what I've seen, the par threes, now there's 3 or 4 of them are 200 plus, but those 3 are the largest greens on the course.
Correct.
The par fives, not super long, so that's going to be one of my metrics this week is par 5 scoring. You got to score on those. Overall
Or
course.
Stoy's gut.
Yeah, exactly. Overall course
The artist.
is, I mean, the common theme is it's scoreable. Last year's winner was minus 25.
K.H. Lee.
So weather-wise, I mean, it's Tuesday, so we don't really know.
Hot.
But it's
to
warm,
last
and
week.
there's not a ton of wind. I mean,
Oh, it's
15.
going to be gettable. It's gonna be great.
Exactly. So 91 on Thursday, 92 on Friday, 91 on Saturday, 94 Sunday. 15 is the highest wind speeds that we'll get. Gusts obviously might be a little higher, but
Some rain.
15
maybe?
on Thursday. There's a tiny, tiny bit of rain in the forecast.
Yeah. Nothing.
But not-
Nothing,
no.
Yeah, no. I
No.
agree. I just saw that there was a chance.
Well, according to what I didn't know this until like last year, I think, when you see 50% rain on the forecast, it's not that there's a 50% chance of rain. It's just that a 50% of that viewing area is going to get rain. And I had no idea that that was how they did that until like last year.
They don't teach us that in school.
Well, like in Iowa for like the forecast this week, for example, I think Channel 8, I saw like a bit on them this morning, and it was like 2 different forecasts for one viewing area or something like that was
Yep.
like the bit that they did, which to your point, like they don't usually do. It's just a percentage of
Right.
the viewing area, but it was that much. It was that drastic that like northern Iowa was going to be 65 or lower, and then like the whole southern half of the state was going to be 85.
I feel like
above.
they can
So
do
it
that
was
with like
just
80.
a huge difference.
I feel like they can do that with 80 and 20. I feel like they can split Iowa, and there's two different
Yeah.
climates between those
Absolutely.
two sides of it.
Yep.
But then
You
we'll
get
jump
Minnesota or you get Iowa.
exactly
They all
jumping
suck.
into key metrics. I looked.
Or you
I
get
think
Omaha. They suck too.
metrics I looked at: ball striking, proximity from 200 plus, par 5 scoring, birdie or better, and then putting. A lot of undulation, as you would hear in the golf world, which is wave-like.
Oh, thank you.
Greens.
Thank you for the definition. Can you spell it?
Know that.
Would you like a?
I can spell it.
Country of origin.
Yes.
I could spell it.
Would you like that used in a sentence?
UNDULATION.
There's
Undulation.
There's no J
There's no G?
No,
or J.
no.
Is that
Guys, I got.
how close is that to the crick?
I was in third. I was in third grade and competed at the Iowa State spelling bee. In case you guys were
You
wondering,
said competed, so that means
I was the first loser.
Hey, at the end of the day, you can spell, and spelling matters, and that's my people.
Come on,
I'm not with the people where spelling doesn't matter, but there's a lot of those people.
you're not wrong.
But I get judged a lot for being a speller. I feel like
Are you a there kind of guy?
it bothers me,
Yeah, I
and
get
I
that.
pay attention to it, and like
I can see that.
just a spelling like reminders. So like the word rhyme, right hand yellow, like that just stuck with me. You know, like see that?
Now I got it.
You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like that type of stuff sticks with me from.
What's the
whenever I
one?
heard that
What's the
second-
one word
second
that you
grade or whatever it is.
struggle spelling?
The.
It's mostly, I would say, the EI words,
No.
Always IE except after C.
but it's not.
But it's not. It's not even, that's not accurate.
Except for all of the words in the English language. Basically,
Speaking
is what
of-
that applies to.
speaking
that's
of,
why I struggle with it.
That's
because-
exactly how I spell Spieth's name correct every single week, is because I remember always IE except after C.
Yep.
Otherwise, I feel like I want to spell it EI, but
It's
IE.
I before E, except after
well,
C.
to be
Yeah.
fair, the English
Except for it's
language
not.
is
It's terrible.
dumb.
Right.
It's just not good.
It's tough.
Especially in American math's the same way. Like it's just
Right.
not good.
Just
Measurements, it doesn't matter. All right,
Right.
golf, please.
So
Golf.
the field this week
GOLF. Also,
PH.
in
also our
perfect
favorite
cursive.
four-letter word.
Yes, yes, it is.
The field this week is above average. There's quite a few players in that top 25 now. I mean,
Some
you're-
scores.
exactly. I mean, you get whenever you get the world number one, a lot of guys follow suit.
Yep.
Into that, they're chasing that guy right now. He's got a target on his back, so you're going to see a lot of those guys.
And players prep.
Absolutely.
A lot of players prep.
That's kind of my big breakdown.
prep.
Again, I kind of alluded to it a little bit. The par fives here aren't super long. 569 is the longest, so they're scoreable. You got to score on those.
Eagles.
Par threes, the big thing that I've seen on there is there are some
Is that a good eagle?
bunkers that guard the greens a little bit on the par three. I'm trying to go through
I
this.
thought it was
and just
Mario.
Like,
What the hell was that?
oh,
That's
wahoo.
my eagle.
It's a me. I think that's more of a crow.
Oh,
Yeah, way more of a crow.
What's an eagle sound like? The soar. I can't soar like an eagle.
Because
Exactly.
I'm proud to
Excuse
be an American.
You know,
That's what an eagle sounds
Let's
like.
be honest, though. We make more crows than eagles on the
Oh,
course. so-
absolutely.
Sorry, back to Ryan.
Picks? You should just jump to picks.
The
Lost goal.
par threes, yeah, they're big greens, but a lot of times some of those flags are hidden by greenside bunkers, so it's hard to
Or-
get close.
Undulations.
Or undulations, absolutely. So
I don't know.
so it's
anything
hard
about
to
this
score.
course.
It's hard to score on these sometimes because you might be a ways away, and it's really hard to get your lag putt close.
Do we have a actual video of this course?
I do have a video of
Good.
this course.
That'll help my gut because I can't even envision this course.
Actual.
You can pull it up kind of as we're making our picks and talking through those.
Your gut has eyes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you not see your food?
Yeah, but things.
A lot of times my
I hear
eyes,
it more than I see it.
What?
big fajita guy.
Big fajita guy.
You hear the sizzle. and also I can hear it digesting.
I mean, people like when you say here food, that's the first thing that I think of is fajitas. Like you always go to a Mexican restaurant. It's
I
like
hear anything, something frying, not sizzling,
Do you hear
frying.
you don't hear the smoker though, which is the best invention.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't hear it.
But you smell
You
it.
smell the shit out of it. Unless someone has one of those stupid electric smokers, which don't get me started on. You can hear those. That's not what a smoker sounds like. That should not be. That
Well,
is.
it's not a smoker. It's
No.
electric.
They think it's a smoker.
But what are you smoking when you're
Nothing. You
You're
don't even get-
electric.
you don't even get deep
It's like-
electrifying
It doesn't
meat.
even work.
what is it? It's like Iowa Vapors. It's not smoke. It's vapor. It's electric.
It's electric.
We are just going off on tangents
Love
this
it.
week.
Love it.
All right, so if you want to pull this up, I can pull this video up for the fans.
I don't
here.
know what cam you're on.
Don't do it for the fans. Do it for Stoy's gut. The
What
artist.
cam are you on?
The artist. That
It's
is
not
Stoy.
going up.
Did you plug it into the right one?
No.
It's right there,
It's that one.
guys. I see it.
All right, you know what, Stoy? We'll just play this for our
For us.
This is
Yeah.
for our eyes.
for our
only.
viewing
That's
pleasure
a
only.
beautiful fountain. Do you have to hit over that?
Do you see
On a par 3, you
do you
do have
see
to
the-
hit over it.
Do you see the creek?
Crick?
No.
4 Mile?
See how it
Where are we going?
left?
There is
Wasn't that just the tee box?
Yeah, I thought we were going away from it too.
Like, what is this?
there is a
That's the
whole.
dam.
I'll have to look
That's a
at.
damn dam.
Our fans need to see this.
I'd have to look at one of the. Well,
Which
it's
they-
buff. It's buffering
They-
right now,
they
so they're
can't
not going
because
to be able to. But
Ryan done messed it
we are
up.
following the creek.
You messed it up, Aaron.
I've had this loading for the
Is
past
this
hour. and
Craig's
it's-
Creek?
No, Rowley Creek.
Rowley.
Craig?
Rowell.
Rowley
Who's
Creek.
this Craig guy?
Craig Ranch. Hey, it's Craig's Ranch.
It's Rowley's Creek.
Oh,
Rowley must have been his dog.
Rowlett.
absolutely.
Rowlett.
And drowned.
Rowlett.
And drowned.
Rowlett.
And drowned in this creek.
Unique
That's
New
why it's
York.
named-
Unique
He
New
drowned
York.
in the well.
In the well that leads to.
yeah. Dog them together.
All right.
All right, that's buffer.
What the
I've
hell
got
is going
nothing.
on
I've got nothing on this course.
I
my
haven't
goodness.
looked at FanDuel until just when I pulled it up, so I'm not 100% sure on what my picks are going to be
There's
this
a lot
week.
of good money out
So
there.
let's-
there
Big
actually
money.
is.
Let's
There's
go.
some pretty
Let's
good
start
money.
Black Stallion
B
right in the middle.
Black
Let's start.
Stallion.
Let's start with the BS.
I have the Black Stallion.
The.
Quite literally.
You said that before.
No, but I mean he is. Jonathan Vegas.
Oh,
God.
with a,
Dang it!
you can pick the same person.
No,
I
you
don't want
can't.
to.
There's too many other good ones out there.
There's so many out
He's
there.
plus 5,000. My winner this week is plus 5,000. Just so you guys know.
Just so you know, I don't know.
All right. Well, now that Cole just
Oh, I do know.
Hey,
okay.
get excited, get it done.
I think I might go back to the well on this one, pending his. Nope.
No
I can't
surprise.
do that.
No surprise here.
Can't do that.
Guy loves to repeat himself.
Si Woo Kim, striker, putter, gonna get back into Strokesville.
Yep. Strokesville.
Strokesville.
It's a great place to be.
It is.
Wait, well, Ryan's doing this. Self-plug from last week. Played in 2 charity golf events last week. Won them both.
Yeah.
Didn't invite us.
Well, you got to play with winners.
Wow.
Hey, I had a career round this weekend for 15 holes, so
That's just.
Won a free round of golf and money to a pro shop. So I don't know if that's winning or not. But it
you know
was-
I'm gonna
it
go
was
with a
for-
guy.
It was for the charity.
Who's pro shop?
Glen Oaks. About as solid as it comes.
What
around
course?
here. Glen Oaks.
Oh, so you got free round and at the same place.
No. Free round.
That's what I was saying. The free round. Where's that?
Free round will be at River Valley in Adel.
I like River Valley.
If those, I could flip those and that'd be better.
Touche. But I got to go
I'm
back
gonna-
and shop, so I've got to check in.
I'm
at
gonna
the
go
gate
down.
to
Hey,
go shopping.
I'm
at
just
the pro
going
shop.
shopping.
I'm gonna go down the board a bit this week for a guy that we talked about
Ew.
having some having a good start to last week until the weather hit.
Yeah.
Matthew Wolf plus 9,000.
Just playing golf for the love of the game now.
I do like his mindset now, though. Well, so he says. Didn't really show.
So you're.
I
This
like Wolfie.
brings. I don't. Let's do picks first, but can we talk about this? Because this comes back to like the mental mindset and stuff of professional sports. So I don't want to
Yes.
get into it right now because deep
Correct.
dive, but I do want to talk about
A
that
Wolfie?
because
Okay,
like,
we'll
that
talk
was
about
very big
It-
last week.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
I really do. I
So-
love the hell out of it. Yeah.
All right. Let's jump top 40. Top 40. We'll go with our long shots.
Change my FanDuel up.
Top 40.
that-
Longest hitter on tour. Widest
Hall.
fairways. Trey Mullinax.
Who? What are you?
Playing well lately.
What are you doing? Where
Has
is
wide
that?
open fairways. Guy's going to score on these par fives. Plus 360.
Oh my! I'm scrolling.
Top-
That's like the bottom.
Top 40 plus 360.
What's his name?
Lock it in.
Trey Mullinax.
Trey
Found him.
Mullinax.
He's still plus 360. I did find him. He's
Dude is monster off the
He's,
tee. Open fairways. Playing well lately. Get it. We don't give that kind of value out every week.
Plus 360.
Mind you, I mean, I could have taken a plus 100 guy.
Well,
I just found you
here's-
value bet of the week.
yes.
Mark it down.
Also,
Can we
Harry-
put a shitty shot on that?
Harry Higgs. Not gonna lie,
Anybody want to take
another
a
solid. There's a lot of value, by the way. in top
No, there
fours.
is. But like plus 360 value?
let me
Stop.
let me
Yeah, your finger hurts.
let me
Mullinax. I feel like that last name is in a movie that I just can't think of.
Wesley Bryan plus 490.
Yeah, I never heard of her.
Just saying. Yeah.
You know what? Since we're all
We're all what?
all going.
No.
So we went
Don't do
210.
something just
210, baby.
because we're doing
Yeah.
it. Don't
No.
you go down to the crick just because we did.
Hey, I'm going with a guy that actually I'm gonna pull it up here. He's pretty darn good from 200 plus. He's top 15 in the world off the tee, and he has good ball striking. Hayden Buckley,
How's he doing the par fives?
par 5 scoring, horrendous.
I might pick Stephen Yeager because his name's Yeager.
Stop it.
Hayden Buckley.
Hayden
Who?
Buckley. Plus what?
Has he ever been on a leaderboard?
I thought he played on the Corn Ferry.
Hayden Buckley is plus 260.
How is he?
He's not even Trey Mullinax level.
All right, Mullinax. You're putting a shitty shot on of him being the best value overall,
I'm
or
putting
him against our two.
just him against your two.
Oh, I thought because you were
I just-
talking about the best value overall is what you were
No,
saying.
I was
So
just
you're saying
that,
if he beats
he's
both
plus
of our guys.
360, which is
Who
more money
value.
and better value.
whoever's
than
guy
your two
he
guys.
beats,
That's like a lot of.
they have
math,
the
though.
shot.
No, it's not. It's just
Well, value wise, because it'd be placing.
Okay, time out.
You know what
no,
I mean?
no.
We gotta
All I wanna
clarify
know
this.
is I'm saying that Trey Mullinax is finishing better than your two guys.
Okay, time out. So let's. Are we
So
doing it this way? So
Higgs wins.
if you finish in the middle, say Higgs, it goes Higgs, Mullinax, Buckley. Let's just go in that order. Are you taking one shot? I'm taking one shot.
That's up to you guys. I'm just throwing it out there because
He
I'm
just went shots
pumped about
on Monday.
Mullinax.
He just wants to get slammed,
Slammed
on
on
Monday.
Monday.
That thing is still buffering.
And then, well,
Going,
I
it's in
mean,
a whole 3.
yeah, of course it's. We're not looking at that, but of course I want to on a Monday. I gotta loosen up for
Hey, you do gotta loosen up.
Tuesday.
hit a couple dingers
Hey,
that
I
night,
got it.
man.
If
that's
anyone
true.
calls a shitty shot, I'm in.
All right,
roll.
let's do it.
I'll roll.
So here's the question: are we going number one doesn't take, the other two do? So if your guy finishes the best,
Well, you clearly don't have it, but you said
I'm saying the other. Right. That's all I said was that my guy's going to be finished better than your guys.
right. So if you're third,
If I'm second or third, I take a shot.
if you're third, wouldn't is it one bet or
So
two
that's
bets? 'Cause it's
so what
technically
I
a
was
two-bet.
what I was saying is if he was third, so if both of our
has
guys
2
beat him,
shots.
then would you? That's what I was asking.
what he's
Would you have
asking.
two?
If
Yeah.
both of your guys beat.
Because
But
you
if
bet
you
on
beat
2
me,
shots, technically.
so Stoy beats you, you beat me. I take a shot, you take a shot.
let's go.
Let's go.
I mean, I brought the bet up. How am I going to say no to that?
I know.
Hey,
That's
no,
what I was
that's fair.
Just clarification.
Right.
And Higgs is gonna win it, baby. Let's
That's
go.
fine. I like Higgs.
All right, let's.
Do you like
Buckley.
That's fun.
I don't know.
That's fine.
Watch him. He's probably going to win. But hey, what do we know?
I'm
I
gonna.
put more money on Mullinax than Buckley.
I'm gonna
Let's
jump
put
to
it
the
that way.
one that I have the least knowledge on and the absolutely no idea what I'm gonna do
That's
here. Let's
outright
go player to fade.
Oh, I was going out right winner.
Has
I've got my fade. Who's your fade?
I have no clue.
You got a fade?
I think I have one guy that I picked just because he pissed me off a couple weeks ago. So
So I've got fade. Just making sure everybody knows. every week we've got to remind, because I've got to remind myself,
Wow.
is a top 10 player to finish the worst of top 10 players. So I've got Brooks Koepka, who is right now plus 3,100, 8th overall. Obviously finishing outside of the rest of the top 10 guys, because I really like all the other top 10 guys.
I am going to go Xander because he only wins non-PGA Tour events.
Fair. What's he? 6th?
Fourth.
6th. Shoffley is
Fourth.
I thought he was 6th. Yeah. That's what I see too.
Where do you see? Oh,
Are you still in top 40?
no, this one was top 5.
I'm like,
Right, that's why
I had a shitty shot, but
saw
I
the
can
sa-
see.
I saw the same thing.
I can see. Okay, good.
I was still in finishing positions. That was top 5.
I've got to go with Koepka. I
Plus
just,
2,100.
Don't see anybody. Like, that was my problem, is I didn't
can't.
see anybody else. DJ maybe was the only other.
So here's the thing. Like I'm not
You have
confident in
Spieth's playing
my
well,
Xander
but
pick.
he hadn't played well at home for a
yeah,
while.
but he's in Texas. And like,
I don't.
but like drivers, his
Maybe Matsuyama because he's coming off injury and hasn't played in a while. Like that would be my other one, but
right.
this is one of those. This is a Matsuyama win too. Like this is his type of course that he'll win at,
Right.
and then not do well in the PGA.
Right.
So I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow it.
Who'd you go with, Ryan?
Xander.
Xander.
And it's because I don't know that I hate really anybody in the top 10.
Right.
To be honest, one of my favorite picks might be the 10th pick in there.
Right.
Big fan of Neiman
One and
this
done.
year.
Oh shit! I need to check who I have
Yeah,
left.
love him.
Should we go outright winners and then
who?
one and done?
He just Neiman.
Oh,
One and done or outright? It doesn't matter to me.
Let's finish with one and done because it sounds like Stoy needs to look up who he still has to pick. So let's go,
I have
let's
9
go
of the top
outright.
10 in the field right now, so we're good. We're good.
Let's
Got
go
everybody,
outright
except for
winners.
Stoy, you ready?
No, I'm flipping between who's going to be my one and done and outright.
Okay. Because you got both available. It's fair.
I'm kind of doing the same-ish.
One and done. I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Mav, the Maverick in Texas. Playing well. He's plus 5,000 overall to win. He's also plus 105 top 40.
I was going to say he's not. He's
So
like it's plus
So that's good
5,000,
odds.
but number 15 is plus 5,000.
Right.
So
that's-
the value is huge.
there.
It's so there. Yeah. Yeah, I
And
agree.
the guy scores well. He's played well. I just feel like this is a tournament that this type of golfer, which there's a lot of these days, the young guns, if you will, play well on this type of course. That's why the score is going to be so low. So I will take Mav McNeely as my one and done this week. Also hoping that this is kind of a one-off. I'm hoping I'm far enough
Like
down the board
you're the only
to
McNeely.
try to climb as well. So like somewhat of a strategic one and done pick as well. So
That's kind of been the issue with my pick.
I've been going a little chalky, just trying to stay in it. But
Have to start shooting.
at some point you got to start.
Gotta start.
I mean, somewhat strategically though. And this to me is a tournament where, like I said, if you're in the 20 unders, it's just who's going to get hot all around. A lot of different guys I could say that I like in this tournament. So. Guys, I'm stalling.
I'm going-
Stalling
I'm
for
going-
you fellas.
I'm
Come
going-
on.
I'm going Neiman.
Joaquin.
Only because I know later in the year I don't like him as much. So
Yeah,
and he's
hot right now.
he's playing hot.
Ride the hot stick.
Plus a 34. Hundo.
I made a pick and I'm changing it right now. That's how.
So you did make a
unsure-
pick.
Well, no, I submitted my pick on here. I am actually going to pull the trigger. Taylor Gooch.
Goo.
He is.
I used him for one and done already, or that was mine this week.
He's 13th in birdies, 3rd in par 5 scoring. Like the dude just.
Yeah.
He's a scorer.
Can't be mad.
Yep. That's who I went in to pick today and realized that I'd already picked him. So then I went. But McNeely was further down the board, so I wasn't too upset about it because he was also a guy I was looking at. So outright winner?
Sam Burnsy.
Screw you.
Burnsy.
Guy looked at my paper. Now I'm changing.
That shitty ass handwriting. I can't.
What is
see
he?
anything.
Plus 20.
Plus 1900.
19.
Yeah, he's all. I mean, just plays well here. Has won.
Yeah,
He's playing hot. Let's go, Bernsey.
I don't even want to hear
You
you
can
talk
pick
right now.
the same
no, I'm
player.
not picking the same freaking dude as you.
All right,
You already picked the same.
I'll
thing as
jump
me. I'm
in.
not having two
I'll jump in.
like-minded gut feelings.
And it's a guy that's finished third here when he played on the Corn Ferry. And I like him in my metrics, even though he's a little bit further down the board than what my actual one and done pick is. I'm going Adam Hadwin, plus 4,600.
Give me Willie Z.
That was my 3.
Guy's playing well here. He's home.
Yeah.
The dude just is a ball striking phenomenon.
The only thing, like,
and his putter's been perfectly fine lately, so he'll be there.
I was trying
happy
to
with him.
Yeah.
with my things. I was trying to avoid players who are gearing up.
Right, but I don't even.
No, I'm not saying Willie Z is that.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all. Spieth was in my choice. It's Texas. It's home. He's playing well anyway. I don't think because he won and he is in good form that this is a all out deal.
Right,
This is a get to form for next week.
but I mean, I feel like Scheffler could very well.
Scheffler could very well win. By the way,
but
gearing up.
because he just doesn't care. Like he doesn't play like that.
Yeah, correct. I agree.
This year. Now,
Yes.
I'm not saying moving forward. I
Yeah.
just think this year's just an anomaly for him as far as like
Yeah.
winning and mindset is. We're just going to keep doing the same thing. And like
But-
the dude shot 64 at Southern Hills the other day.
Just
With-
chilling.
For those that don't know, that's where the Players is held, and that's where everybody's been practicing. And that's another insight that we get now that we've never gotten before because
Right.
of social media. Is these guys all practicing? Is like, yes, they practice there before the week of.
Yeah.
Like Tiger Woods has been there for 2 weeks.
They don't just go.
He's talked
Where
to
we at
the-
Monday?
He's talked to the guy that runs the course. Like, yes, he's getting as much insight as possible. And if he's not, like, he's probably not doing his job.
Correct.
It's just
Right.
like watching film in football or anything like that.
But
It's
if
like,
you look at even the top 10, Scheffler, JT, Spieth, DJ, Schauffele, Koepka, Matsuyama.
yeah, but
all
these
those guys,
but they haven't won yet.
correct.
So, like,
So I think they're
doesn't
doing
your
it to get
mindset
into form.
yeah, but doesn't your
But
mindset
if they're in
shift?
it, then they're in it. I think it's more of that.
Right, but like doesn't
They're not necessarily. They're always playing to win. No
Right.
one's playing to lose.
right, and once
But-
you make the weekend,
I'm also thinking that they're playing like their mindset going in is get into form. I'm working on this. Let's get into form. I'm in contention.
right,
Green light. If I'm 12 back, I'm not trying to do something extra
right.
to get that, right? That's what I'm saying. So they're not going in with
Right.
like
But a lot of those
less
guys will
stress.
play better.
Doing that, by the way,
I mean, just like the
They don't stress
Rory
themselves.
mentality as far as
Yeah.
like, make it to the weekend,
and then game on.
and then all of a sudden I'll shoot 8 under on accident on Sunday.
Exactly.
JT, same type. Like, so that's why I think JT this year's second in top 10s is like, he really hasn't played well.
No.
But like, he's just that good
Just
at
that-
golf.
absolutely. Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, after 4 rounds.
He's-
like,
I'm just- but
He's
I'm
the best ball striker on tour right now.
He is. I'm saying, but in this field, there's way more value for guys who are hungry, who want to win because they
Oh,
have to
absolutely.
win.
Absolutely.
That will overcome on the weekend.
I mean, I think
Like,
a
even
guy
if
that
these guys are playing well, like that hunger at some point is going to overcome. It happens in every sport.
I mean, you got a couple guys that we haven't even mentioned that fit that mold exactly what you're talking about. Cameron Champ, Aaron Wise,
Absolutely.
Brian Harmon. I mean, we could keep going down the
I mean,
list,
you look
but
at
like,
some of those guys, is like how many of them can score? I mean, because it goes
Yeah, some of you have
ultimately
to
this
score.
week. Like, I mean, we might as well keep the tradition alive, scoring
I was
this
about
week.
to say it.
I mean, are we?
It was 25 last year.
It was 25. We got a little bit more wind this year. It was very nice conditions last year. Was it at the same course last year?
No.
yes,
was?
last year it
last
was.
year
2
was.
years
Yeah,
it was.
right. So we know this course is gettable. Like,
Cam Champ is 27th in the world in par 5 scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's well above average. That's
there's
a
gonna
guy
be a
that
ton of
long
eagles
off the
this
tee.
week.
But you can't set it 25. What do you set it at? 21 and a half? 20 and
Are
a
we
half?
doing another side bet, boys?
Yes. Side,
Yes.
Is this yes? Is this not golf?
Side bet nation.
Little, also maybe a little precursor to something that we may be helping work on later in the season. Just saying.
Right.
Betting
Betting.
on your rounds
And
Side
are
bets?
you the scientist,
in an app.
Ryan?
What?
Or are you the artist, Stoy? Or are you somewhere in between the bunkers, me. Bunker to bunker.
Actually, don't hit many bunkers.
He's
Now that I
sliced-
think about it, you don't
Well,
hit many bunkers.
It's because there's not very many bunkers on the courses we play.
You're right. Valid.
You play those
That's
courses
valid.
without bunkers, you don't hit very many of them.
It's valid. That's valid. Also, like where some of the bunkers are, they're just not. They're just
Right.
not.
Yeah, they're there.
They're just there.
for looks.
Yeah. Right.
So, 20. Let's start it at 21.
Starting bidding at 21.
Is that 21?
Let me see what the field was last year, and that will give me a better. That'll give me a better idea.
21. It's so many.
A lot of strokes.
That's so many strokes.
472 though. That's just like that's 3 rounds of 70 or 67 and 1 round of 66. You know, it's like easy peasy.
I'm going. Gosh, I think that's a
that's the
great
number.
number.
That's a good number. 21 and a half.
I think
Well, you
we
have to
go
go
21 and a
halves.
half. 21 and a half is our number, and
The question is, do we have any unders? That's what determines if it's a great number.
I mean,
I'm on 21, 22. So
Because I'm over
Technically?
21 and a half. So
the only reason I would say under is because
I just
a high pick in this shot a 62 last year to finish.
what was
22 under.
do we even know what the temp was down there?
Last year?
Texas,
I have no idea.
Texas heat. It was decent weather all 4 rounds last year.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, is it dry now? Because it's again, it was hot this last week too. Is it going to be drier than last year?
I don't know.
I know that would be my only
But
thing
Texas
that would
has
allow
had a
me
ton
to.
of rain this year.
Like,
Texas
does
has
your
had a
gut
ton
care
of rain.
how hot it was.
Yeah, because it's hot out there.
All right, like don't
Right
don't
now.
you're not meteorologists.
No,
at
I mean
all.
I'm gonna go.
So do we
over,
go?
But
So
that's what I'm saying. I feel like
that information would help.
we're going to 22 and a half.
all right, 22 and a half is the number.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go under, and I'm not confident in that
That's fine. But like I feel like that's a
because
better
I think
number than-
22. I think 22 is the winner.
That's
Like
why
22 is my number.
22 is my number.
So you're both going under.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the over.
I can't be mad about it. Like
22
the
is my
reason, yeah.
No, that's fine. I think
And
21 and a half, like based on our conversation, I think we were all right around there. So that's why I think we need to go
Yeah.
with 1.
That's fair.
That's fair.
And
Okay.
I'm willing to take that over.
I think we're all.
I
gonna
think the
ta-
winner's at 24 this year, personally.
I
So
wouldn't be mad about
Do we
it.
see
somebody
DJ pull off
shooting-
like another 27 or something
well,
like
all I'm
that.
saying is somebody shooting a 10 under one day. I think somebody's going to have a 62. So therefore, those other days, like they only have to shoot,
Let's see.
not like 67.
Let's
or
just do
68.
this.
They don't have to shoot a 64,
Crazy number.
64.
So
64,
last year, round 1 there was a 63. Round 2 there was a 62.
Mm-hmm.
Round 3 there was a 63. And round 4 there was a
Hey, will you
63.
stop trying to talk Stoy into taking the over?
I'm set.
All right.
I made my decision.
I'm just saying.
I don't make a pick and then switch
Right,
it.
right, that's right.
I'm just saying there was 4 rounds right around that 10 under.
Any other side bet that anyone wants to throw at?
I don't like this week. I like a lot of side bets next week.
Yeah, I do too. I just ask and throw it out there.
So just
We only
making
have
sure
one.
we're going Monday next week, just for those watching. I'm ruining it. I won't be available Tuesday, so we're going to go Monday.
Absolutely.
But jumping back into what I asked about with the Matthew Wolf conversation earlier. So Matthew Wolf has struggled on the tour this year
Mightily.
with golf
Last
swing,
year too.
mental mindset,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And those that know Matthew Wolf has one of the most unique swings that has ever played on tour.
Yeah.
And was consistently great early. So like had the success coming from college
With that swing.
and then started struggling,
Correct.
which in some time is just over analysis and trying to change too much.
Right.
Homa just said that this week he changed his swing and now he's going back to what he had in college and he won.
Right. But I think weather kind of brings that out as well. Because
Go
like at that
comfortable.
point,
I
like
gotta
you're
go
just
somewhere.
trying to athlete it around the
Yeah.
course in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form.
Which is a lot of college players. Let's
form
athlete.
form be damned.
Which I think the greats, like everyone says, oh, they have this swing. The greats have swings.
Like, I mean, look at Scotty Scheffler.
depending on what's happening.
His swing is ugly for a lot of people. Traditional wise, it's a
sometimes
bad swing.
Lower body movements that nobody's coaching.
Correct.
And basically a guy who is forming his shot based on his whole body, not just club shaping, which would be Tiger Woods is an artist. Scotty Scheffler would be whatever else is out there as far as just athlete. Like if you have artist or athlete, it's like Tiger Woods can move a golf club this way or this way, swing a golf club, and just shape the ball. Scheffler is like
Like a full
moving his whole
body
body.
sculpture
like Tiger
artist.
talking about
Around,
inches
like,
in
trying to
his
maneuver the ball
stance.
around.
Tiger is a painter. He uses a paintbrush
Right.
as an artist. Scotty's using like clay as a
Spray
sculpture.
paints.
Like
Right,
it's
right,
the
right.
whole
Yes,
thing.
yes.
It's not just the little tip.
But back to the Matthew Wolff thing, it is more of the mental
Oh,
aspect of
100%.
which golf we all know is extremely mental, no doubt about it. But
90%.
his point after the first round was just getting back to having fun, enjoying golf as in its purest form, not having family, friends judge him as a golfer, and knowing and getting back to if I am not good at golf, I'm still accepted as a person.
Yeah.
And I think, to the Ridley conversation, to a lot of professional athletes, this conversation is coming out more and more is just like accepting themselves as human beings and then playing the sport that they're amazing at, best in the world at, as a secondary thing instead of that being the primary thing and identifying as that. Like, that's coming out more and more and more. And that's just tough, though.
It is. I think it goes deeper than just these pro athletes. Now, we're seeing it on the grandest of stages, and I'm glad we're starting to see it more. Whittle that down to college athletes, high school athletes, everyone else. Truthfully, figure out who you are first. The game is second. The game isn't you. And we're seeing a lot of softball players recently commit suicide. Stars, by the way, committing suicide in college.
Or former stars.
Or former stars.
Who have, realized that
that's it.
it's become overwhelming for them in some way.
And we need to all be okay with the fact that we are who we are, and you own that. The other things are secondary. It's fun. It's just fun. It's a game.
Right.
And we say that all the time. We say it when we're, I know coaches have always said it's just a game, have fun.
Right, but
we put so much.
Are we saying it less now, though?
I
just because of all of the specializing?
We are saying it less. We are saying it less.
Because that game can't be more fun if it's the only game that I play. Yeah. Games are fun.
Yeah.
As soon as I start narrowing a little bit, right?
I guess, and that was a new world for me moving to, big school, narrow-minded. Like, I need to be great at one thing, whereas small school, I can do whatever I wanted, and I just love sports, so I could play sports. I think some of the best days I had in college is where somebody kept it light, somebody kept it fun. Wrestling, I'm cutting weight. I'm already in that mind frame. Just like you said, it's easy to get down on yourself. It's easier to look down on yourself than it is to think about the positives. So when one of our coaches would come in random days as a joke and she's like, "Sup, bitches?"
Right.
And everybody would laugh because you'd never hear it coming from that guy. And everybody would laugh, and then all of a sudden my smile turns up. I'm in a better place mentally. I remember I'm having fun. Right. Like, I have the capacity, I have the ability to do this at a high level. I can still have fun just because I'm doing this at a high level with more pressure.
How long ago was the last competitive wrestling match that you wrestled? 8 years?
6?
7.
Years? Okay. So, and I'm going to ask everybody, and I'm going to give mine
8,
on this, is like, from your competitive wrestling career, how many of the moments that you remember, just like right now, think 5 seconds, are actually wrestling?
I don't know.
Right. Like, I mean, there might be a couple moments that came to mind, but like more moments like what you just share
Oh,
with us.
100%.
Okay, so like same thing, same question to Stoy. How many moments are football moments, football game moments?
Maybe 3 to 4. And if I had to think, obviously you could pull them up.
Right, but like more of those, like
More
so
of
we're
the-
Some of them were
10
watching teammates
more of the-
competing.
Right, we're 10 of them.
If I was
teammates
saying
or
10, if we were saying just a number 10,
Right.
I would say it's got to be 80% of teammates, fun, something not
yeah.
actually related.
Right. And for me,
Easily.
like I look at, and Drake is unique, and depending on where you go to school, like is unique in the fact that like we're able to do more intramurals
Yeah.
and stuff like that, just because we're not locked into the big scholarships and the forced, like we're worked with more. But like I look at like intramural basketball, racquetball tournaments with the football team, tackling each other on a muddy field when Drake's stadium got torn up, practicing on intramural fields that would be considered hazardous for every team in Division I football to this day,
But
in a
our
gravel
practice
pit,
field, yeah.
in
On
the bottoms.
shot put throwers,
and at the end
divots.
of practice, coaches would stand in a circle, and back to wrestling, we would have our state champion wrestlers that were on our football team wrestle in a circle of football players post practice. And so like those moments from a mental standpoint are way bigger. Like my biggest football moment.
It's more than a game.
I have 2. And one is Illinois State. We upset ranked 1AA scholarship team. And another one is a day where I had a great day passing against Morehead State. Was just a personal achievement for me. But those are like the 2 football moments that I have. Besides that, everything is intramural basketball championship, racquetball championship. Again, intramural or wrestling on the intramural fields, and mudslides on the old Drake football field that was grass before it became stadium turf. So like those moments are all just immediate 15-second pop in my mind. 2 of them are football moments.
Right.
And none of them are really workout moments or anything like that. And yet at the end of the day, like we were successful, and like hopefully, the guys after that are more successful and stuff like that. But that's what you're breeding as a culture, is just like the culture, the team is more of the community you build makes what you do on the field successful more so than the opposite. And I think just more and more like that's coming to the surface of prominent athletes.
yeah.
And as it should. I think where some of that disconnect happens, or I want to say depression comes, is because a lot of these athletes come from nothing and have been taught their whole life the only way they're going to college is a scholarship. And I was the same way. I didn't get a scholarship, just I'd pay for it myself. But that mindset and being raised that way is so difficult. And I think that comes out later. Now, I'm not saying all these athletes.
Like once you make it.
Yeah.
Because like Matthew Wolf made it, but then it's the
Because
whole it's the what's next mindset after I peak at such a young age.
That, and I think it happens all the time when you're under high stress. And usually when you're under high stress and you're very successful and that's what you're used to, you have all this high stress and that's what keeps you going. As soon as you're able to be like, holy shit, I'm successful, and I relax,
Like,
all of that emotion hits
comes
you,
falling.
and that's usually when people crash because they go, holy shit, I did it.
Right.
I'm good. I'm on top of the world. And
Right.
that's when it hits you.
Right,
And
but that's the
think-
most disappointing part in a lot of
Yeah.
ways is just that like that's what it like. I mean, you mentioned like the James Madison catcher, a phenomenal athlete, and James Madison, for those that don't know, college softball, they kind of stormed the college softball world at the College World Series last year. Had an amazing pitcher who did it all, but their catcher was an elite athlete, and she just has recently committed suicide, and it's just one of those things where it happens on the smaller levels too, and I'm glad that was brought to attention, just because, I mean, it's an issue at every level, and at some point, even at that small level, I mean, they canceled their season after that, which kudos to them for that, but like, at what point was that missed, or at what point was that hidden?
Well,
Uh,
and I
mean,
think hidden to a certain degree, because Stoy's mentioning this a lot, is a lot of times it's the athlete, the player themselves putting the pressure on themselves, really like getting stuck in that mental mindset. And maybe it takes, a bad situation to understand how much maybe your coach or those people around you truly, truly just care about you as a person and less about your performance. Right. That happened with me specifically. We talk about it. I mean, this is one of the biggest things for me is, I broke my neck in college, had neck surgery.
Right.
I tried to come back, hurt my neck again. And when I got hurt again and the doctor's like, hey, you're done. Right. I didn't want to listen. I'm 20, I think I was 20 years old at the time. And I was like, I'm not listening. No, I'm going to wrestle again. Right. And having your head wrestling coach who his job relies on performance of his athletes, he looked at me and said, I'm going to ask you one question. Do you want to walk your wife down the aisle or do you want to wheel your wife down the aisle?
Right.
Do you want to hold your kids in the future or do you want to wheel your kids in the future? Mm-hmm. And it put that into perspective that he cares more about me as a person and genuinely cares more about me as a person than when I got hurt. That was one of my memories that got brought up. I got hurt the day that I was expecting to travel that week. Right. For the first time, I was going to, crack the lineup. I was going to wrestle. I was going to go out to Buffalo. I remember it vaguely. Right. And then, plans change and things happen in a different way.
Right. And we all dealt with injury. I mean, you guys, like I dealt with injuries, and I feel like you guys, even like Ryan probably to the most, and then Soy, and then me. And I had 3 different injuries in a 4.5-year college career, and you guys can speak to that even more than I can. So we all dealt with the downside of sports, definitely. So, I mean, Stoy, like, what was yours?
I've had the distinct experience of losing 3 teammates. One in high school. Yep. I took his position as a freshman. I was a 4th freshman to ever start varsity in Omaha at Westside, and I took Wojo's position. Loved the guy. We got along. And he was a senior, and it was just there was nothing going on. And one day before we have to go out to Norfolk, we learn the day before he put a shotgun to his face. Beautiful girlfriend, adopted by a great family with money, had nothing to do with that. But I'm just trying to paint a picture here. Right. He played a ton still. We got along. There was nothing there. Right. Then fast forward off of that, we lose 2 teammates, Akeem Campbell and Nicholas Chenier, who, by the way, baby arm Chenier, top safety, made huge plays. Akeem, solid backup, just always there, good people, having fun always. We lost both them in the same year. Yep. Now, this was after they're playing, right? So I've got experience on both sides. Right. The thing I've learned the most is, and the thing that every time it happens, our team comes together and says we just need to talk. Right. It's because as specifically men and then as specifically alpha athletes, it is a sign, air quotes for people on podcast, of weakness to talk, to say, I'm not feeling good, or I don't have confidence in myself, or whatever the thing may be. That is the root of it, and that's why I'm so happy for even a Ridley, even a Wolf, those guys to come out and specifically say things, right? Because we have to talk. You have to talk to people. The human body is designed to be interacting, right? And if we're not, and for some reason these athletes feel like they can't talk, and you then get hurt or depressed, or it's over for you, what else is there? Right. They don't know because we don't talk.
Well, like that's a
big thing.
We go back to, even circle back to like Phil, taking mental time off, according to what he said. Nobody knows if that's what actually happened. I mean, that's okay to say these days. Some people are going to say that's an excuse, and if it is, it is. But like,
hopefully it's not.
But what I mean, everybody's personality reacts and shares differently, and so not everybody's going to share in that same way, and it's impossible. I mean, unfortunately, these things are going to continue to happen. hopefully
We are humans.
we
It's
can
not getting
prevent
eliminated. Yes.
more of it from
Mhm.
listening, from seeing signs.
Right.
And a lot of times there are signs. And sometimes there aren't, but a lot of times there are. And just being able to be observant to that. But a lot of times, especially as you get deeper into it, probably more so than any of us ever were, you're so absorbed in what am I doing to make sure that I'm okay? Because that's important.
Yeah.
Like self-care is obviously the most important thing, is that it's hard to catch, is someone else really okay if I'm making sure to take care of myself? Just because like every day as whatever athlete, Matthew Wolff, for example, and he's in an individual sport, so tougher to see as far as
Absolutely.
those things go. But like if you're in a locker room and I'm making sure, if I'm LeBron, every day, every day since I was 18 years old, so now for half of my lifetime, and probably even before that, a quarter of his lifetime was spent, maybe not, the rest of it has been in the spotlight since he was a freshman in high school, sophomore in high school. So 20 years. If he doesn't make sure he's okay, like there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And we don't hear about a lot of the top tier guys because a lot of them have a support system that is greater than just the game itself. But they're great because their self-care and self-attentiveness can come off as selfishness. It can come off as, Kobe, I think, is an even better example of that. But Kobe made sure to take care of Kobe. He made sure to take care of his family. He made sure that he was doing what he loved after the game. Like all of those things come into play, so on and so forth down the line. And if any point you get held up, if you have a family issue, and I think that's probably what comes into play more than anything, is it's tough to let people into your personal life because that's mine.
It's tough to hit
And
vulnerable.
and how vulnerable do I become as far as sharing personal information?
Am I going to get screwed
may be
over? Is it gonna
hurting
hurt? Yeah,
me?
exactly. Yeah.
Because and I go back to this girl from James Madison just because it's very fresh, and I don't know her from the next person,
Right.
but she was player of the week. So there were, and I say no, but
On field?
she had no issues with softball.
No.
She didn't have injuries. And she might have had a nagging injury
Right.
here. She's a catcher.
Right.
But as far as performance,
There was nothing
anything like that,
to be shown.
her spot wasn't
Right.
in jeopardy. Team was all in all solid. They weren't as good as they were last year, but something else.
Right.
School, family, personal relationship was the issue. And that's where it becomes tough versus a Matthew Wolff. It was a performance issue. So I can, work that out publicly, say. So I think that's where I kind of try to differentiate a little bit is most people that are taking their own lives, unfortunately, it is not game related. It is not, it might be injury related, but it's not direct performance related. It's more of boyfriend, girlfriend, mom and dad, those things that we don't want to share. And sometimes for rightful reasons, because we don't want to air our dirty laundry. We keep that to ourselves for a reason. So that's what I think what makes it the most difficult is how do we share that, but in today's social media world without just getting outed to everyone, which is not fair either.
No.
And so I think that's the tough part overall is if I share it on Facebook, if I share it on Twitter, if I share it to someone who shares it to one of those outlets, now I've got a whole different issue that I've now got out there. And I think that's where we need to kind of, as a society, take a look in the mirror and see how are we hurting those people because they can't do what they need to do. Unless they're specifically seeing a therapist, who are they going to, I'm not going to tell you who I think might put it out to a place where I don't want it.
Yeah. And now I'm all
now
alone
I
by
have
myself.
to. So that's what makes us, the social media part of it actually makes us, I think, more lonely.
That's correct. In the issue we would be doing injustice to our veterans if we didn't recognize the fact that suicide's huge in our veteran community.
Yeah.
And I will only relate veterans and athletes in this respect, because clearly they do a lot more for our country than we do.
Right.
Is that team family aspect.
Yep.
And typically you see a lot of these suicides after the fact. It's been very recent that it's been brought to more light that it's during, which is concerning. But also the loss of a team. When we graduate, we all went through it. When you graduate, you lost. Essentially, it felt like someone died because you lose.
They were part of you.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Every graduating class. When you guys left, it hurts us still. We have to go on. But when you're done,
Mm-hmm.
there's another drop-off there that I don't think – I'm not going to blame the NCAA for this or anything, but there is no debriefing period.
No.
There's nothing to help you through that transition, and you're seeing a lot of athletes and veterans when they leave because it's all of a sudden like you're in, you're out. There is no you're in, let's figure this thing out for a
basically, you
while.
hope that your network and your family
Can support that.
Yeah.
But also it's tough because they don't know what you've been through. They haven't been there. That's why athletes come together. That's why veterans come together so often in every industry possible, is because even different sports, because we can relate to that.
Yeah.
Your family cannot relate to what you've been through or we've been through, but we can relate because we've been through that grind. We understand. And that's what's tough in a family. How are they supposed to react? Like how that's tough.
I think colleges are starting to address it a little bit more. And now I know, but you and I, you could always go to the, mental health center and different stuff like that. I think there probably should be that at every university, there should be somebody specific in the athletic department themselves rather than just as a university whole, because it can get bogged down. I mean, if you only have one center for thousands and thousands and thousands of students, then it's tough. But I also think they're starting to address it from a standpoint of just plain college to career transition. You're seeing more and more of those. I mean, my sister-in-law is a college to career transition counselor.
Right.
You're in a completely different world. Once you're done, you're done. You can't just, hey, I'm going to go to class and do this. Like, once you're done, hey, you're here, and start flapping your wings because there's a drop-off.
And by the way, adulting sucks.
Right.
Start flapping your wings because there's a drop. There's no safety blanket there. Like, now there is some, like you talked about, does your family have the means, different stuff like that. But there needs to be some sort of transition counselor.
Right. Each of those things, as a football team, as a basketball team, as a softball team, as a wrestling team, need to have and continue to coordinate. Like, I mean, how great is it just to have a lunch with somebody you haven't seen in 10 years? And I think, and guys and girls, I think both relate to this, but ultimately as guys, we can talk to it. We don't lose like relationship to a guy we haven't seen for 10 years. Girls may or may not a little bit more just because
they're females.
Yeah. I mean, just the female. Yeah. I mean, mindset.
I don't want to
things.
sleep on the couch, so can we just
amen to that. But if there was a way to not just a 5-year reunion or not just a hey, here's these pods, go with your pod, like graduate with your, and yes, we create those on our own, but if someone is there to keep that pod and whether it shouldn't only be your sport pod. Like, what's your majors? That's a networking pod as far as like if I'm going into business or anything like that. And I think those things are those are some of the solutions, because ultimately we can sit here and a lot of the deaths we're never going to be able to explain, and everybody's going to say, "Oh, never saw it coming," and yes, because those people got so good at what they were hiding that nobody noticed, and it's nobody's fault, and we all want to blame ourselves. It is what it is at this point, and not saying that in a negative way, but just in a let's look at solutions for tomorrow, and those are little things that the NCAA can create. To your point, absolutely. High school can create is let's not pod in just softball. Let's pod in art class. Let's pod in band. Let's pod in, whatever it may be, And then let's look at those things annually, and let's continue to grow the network. The bigger your network is, the more chance you have to reach out to someone who can help you with a specific problem. Because if my problem isn't in football and I only have a football pod, I'm not going to reach out to anyone. I mean,
one of my favorite classes that we had at UNI was, we call it Champs class, and it was like strategies for academic success. I don't know if you guys probably had it at Drake, maybe, but it was only athletes. But when you sat at a table, like it felt weird because it felt like going back to grade school, but they had assigned seating. I wasn't sitting with any wrestlers at that class. I was sitting with football players. I was sitting with basketball players. I was sitting with soccer players. We had a project. I still remember this project to the day. I mean, I can name the people that I was with, and one was a football player, one was a track runner, and one was a soccer player. I still have them on social media. I still reach out, tell them happy anniversary every single year. Still have those connections with them. I know, the one, I know his spouse, like he's in Des Moines, played football, had a couple tryouts in the NFL, and now he's training people at a D1. Like, for me, those relationships are huge just because, hey, they went through something different than I did.
Right.
They were still an athlete. Branch out in your network, just like you're talking about. Just because they're not a wrestler doesn't mean I can't get along with them.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think, that helps from a mental perspective, from the suicide perspective, but that helps from a worldly view perspective, which is where we struggle as a society, especially now in the social media world. So I think that is a very simple answer to a very complex problem, as far as it's going to be a lot of little things that change all of these things.
Right.
And those are things that we can implement. And I think ultimately we struggle to provide answers. We just want to complain about a lot of things these days. So the more we can find small answers, the better. Just build up the ladder. So that's
and obviously we've been out a lot longer than you have. So that's good to know. Like, even from we didn't have anything like that,
right?
Like anything close to that. So like to know that your generation did, it's only getting better. That's good. But we also have to remember that each one of us has that job to do.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself first, obviously. Right. Take care of your family, but also don't. It's a quick text. It's a quick little thing. To just
nobody's gonna be mad.
And I can't wait till
absolutely.
I can't wait till the day.
A terrible person,
right?
But yeah,
I can't wait till the day where this wasn't like a forced thing. Like Champs class was a forced thing. You had to take it as an athlete at UNI, and then for part of our grade and part of our credit and stuff like that, like we had to go to different sporting events. Right. I had to go to a soccer game. I had to go to a meet. I had to for a grade, but at the same time, all of a sudden I go there and it's like I had a ton of fun.
Right. Lot.
Right.
And like, for example, like there was a year I was still wrestling, and one of our one of the wrestlers, his sister was our setter on our volleyball team. Like me and another wrestler, my roommate, we swept the floors at the softball games, and we would dress up in like different costumes, like different stuff. We'd do backflips and stuff on the court and get the crowd pumped up.
Backflips.
Loved us.
Could never do one of those.
They like the crowd loved us, and there was times in the MVC like other teams would reach out and say, "Hey, these guys did a great job. Like this was fun. They made it interactive with the crowd, everything like that." And there was other teams like, "Hey, let's just keep them back and let's pipe it down a little bit." But like that was fun for me because I was not only am I involved in wrestling, but we're bridging the gap between sports.
Right. Yeah. No, good talk.
No, I think that's an awesome way to end it. And I think we addressed the big thing.
Like we did that well. Yeah.
We addressed a huge thing, and I think again. We talked about Matthew Wolf. Like pro athletes deal with it too.
Wolfie.
Right.
Recency bias. James Madison, obviously thinking of their team, but everybody. I mean, Hayden Hurst has his foundation, and all these things with mental health awareness. It's becoming more and more of a thing, and I think the perfectionism that we think of, we have to live in this certain bubble and live in this certain world, and we have to do these certain things.
Yeah,
it grinds on us a little bit, but. So at that note, maybe we'll end it a little bit different of a way this week. If you guys are struggling, mentally, wherever it is, seek help. If you want to just reach out to us as a couple of guys just to talk to, I'll talk to anybody. I'm a talker. I'm a talker in general. So
hang out.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a talker in general, so if you want to talk to me, go ahead. Hit me up. But, we
Not wrong.
just know that people care about
That's
you.
at Rye Guy Hall.
At Rye Guy Hall. Hit me up.
Instagram, Twitter, hit them up all night long.
Let's go. But, we care about you, and there are a ton of people that care about you. We're happy you're here. You're here for a reason.
He's got a newborn. He's up all night.
Oh,
he'll be
absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. But as always, we appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, follow, share. We're on all different social medias. YouTube is where our video platform of this podcast goes out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys listen, we'll be there. TikTok, we're there, so see some of our reels. Instagram reels as well. I mean, all over the place.
We're getting a website soon. We'll be hosted on a website soon.
Exactly.
So look out for us.
Exactly.
See you on Monday.
Monday.
All right. Thanks,
Have a good
everybody.
weekend,
Have a
buddy.
good weekend.
It's time.